Hey, what's cracking? I'm Coach Ryan Family from the Fat Loss Solution, and today I'm going to tell you about a sugar that stops binge eating. What? A sugar that stops binge eating? That sounds crazy. That sounds impossible, but it's true. That sugar is called inositol. Now, inositol is a carbohydrate that's similar in chemical structure to sugar. It's about half the sweetness though. So a tablespoon of inositol will give you the same sweetness as a half a tablespoon of sugar, roughly. Now, inositol is not an essential nutrient. So your body makes it in the kidneys. It synthesizes it in the kidneys. And inositol is pretty cool. It's kind of like a mail carrier chemical because it basically can regulate and signal different processes. So inositol takes part in things like insulin production, it takes part in things like fat breakdown or lipolysis, and even to some extent gene expression. So it's very, very important to have. Well, probably several years ago, researchers found that people that exhibited manic behavior, so crazy, hyper, high levels of arousal, high levels of energy, people that experienced manic behavior had very, very high levels of inositol in their bodies. Well, they did a little deductive reasoning. They said, okay, if manic people have high inositol, perhaps depressed people have low levels of inositol. So they did some experimental studies, and what do you know? People that exhibit signs of depression often have low levels of inositol. So the signaling that happens in their brain is not as efficient because of low inositol, low mail carrier levels. Well, more experiments over time actually expanded this principle all the way out to binge eating, and researchers found that inositol actually decreases binge eating on the same level as the clinical drugs that they use to treat binge eating. So binge eating is a disorder that's characterized by excessively high caloric intake but no purging. So bulimics purge. Bulimics will throw up, they'll use laxatives, diuretics. Binge eating is none of that. It's just basically eating a ton of food. No over exercising, anything like that. Just eating a ton of food. So why is this important? It's estimated that 1 in 5 or 20% of women in the world suffer from binge eating. Wow, right? I've known several myself. I've even gone periods where I would binge eat. No question about it. During periods where there were some rough things going on in my life and I experienced a little bit of depression, for sure, I could look at that and say, yeah, I was doing some binge eating there. So what's the practical recommendation? What's the take home? Researchers found that 12 to 18 grams of supplemental inositol per day stops binge eating in its tracks. So if you suffer from binge eating, you want to look at taking this inositol. Now, 12 to 18 grams is a very high dose of inositol. Inositol can make you sleepy, so it's best to kind of take this. What I would recommend is take 6 to 9 grams at dinner time and then 6 to 9 grams 30 minutes before bed. And that will give you your 12 to 18 gram daily dose, and then it will also help you have a restful night's sleep. So I hope you learned something valuable today. If you battle cravings, if you can't say no to food, and if you eat excessively, you might want to look at using this sugar, inositol, in your repertoire to help your fat loss efforts and to slow down any weight gain. I'm Coach Ryan Family from the Fat Loss Solution. If you like what you see here today, click subscribe below. Leave any questions or comments below this video, and I'll see you next time.